coming to gastric carcinoma. Gastric carcinoma is a cancer in stomach. So it can be in a benign form, it can be in a malignant form. So in benign form, it remains as a polyp. That gastric polyps, mainly found in the fundus, it is a multiple sessile polyp. Okay, so this kind of polyp is a basically hyperplastic polyp. Okay, fundal polyp is a hyperplastic polyp seen in atrophic gastritis. Most common polyp is the hyperplastic polyp. Second type of polyp is the adenomatous polyp, which is a central sessile solitary. Malignancy risk is more common in the adenomatous polyp. It can cause adenocarcinoma. So it can be associated with Gardner syndrome or familial adenopolyposis. Familial adenopolyposis. Now coming to adenocarcinoma, it is mainly seen in male than in female in a ratio of 2:1. So it is a malignancy condition where it is greater than 60 years patient, it is seen have highest incidence. So most common site is the lesser curvature, that is the distal portion of the lesser curvature. Okay, the proximal is nowadays increasing, but the most common site is the lesser curvature of the distal stomach. Now coming to the risk factor, so there can be any pre-existence, any familial adenopolyposis, or any H. pylori infection, or any adenomatous polyp, or any metaplasia, intestinal metaplasia, type 3 specifically, type 3 metaplasia. So these are all the risk factor, pre-malignant condition risk factor. Other like spicy food, chronic atrophic gastritis due to acrorydia, okay, or any spicy food like nitrate preservative food, smoke preservative fishes, smoking cigarette. Meninter's disease is one of the diseases in the esophagus. This can cause the gastric carcinoma, adenocarcinoma. Blood group A are the predominant, and partial gastrectomy if there is the partial gastrectomy previous history. Epstein-Barr virus is one of the most common cause of the gastric carcinoma, and again biliary gastritis. Okay, due to this partial gastrectomy only, there can be the biliary gastritis. It can also cause adenocarcinoma. So these are the risk factors. Now in the classification, there is a pathological classification of gastric carcinoma. First is Lawrence classification. Lawrence classified it as intestinal and diffuse type. So coming to intestinal type is mainly seen in the male than in the woman. Diffuse type is mainly seen in the woman than in the male. It is seen in the old age. Okay, it is seen in the old age. As the age increases, its predisposition is also increased. It is seen in the younger age. Diffuse type is seen in the younger age. It is much more sporadic. It is familial. It is associated with group A, blood group A. So those who are blood group A have this type of. It has more bad prognosis because malignancy is most common because E cadherin is less. Here signet ring is seen. Poorly differentiated glands with signet ring is seen. Diffuse type is more proximal and it most distal. Here microsatellite instability is one of the most important factor for this gastric carcinoma. It has good prognosis. It is associated with gastric atrophy and metaplasia. So what are the oncology? The oncology is that overexpression of c-MET gene, KRAS gene and CR2 gene, and inactivation of p53 and p16 mutation, E-cadherin loss and CDH1 mutation. These all causes the gastric carcinoma. Japanese classification is there. It is type 1 is protruding because when the cancer protrudes out from the mucosal layer and the submucosal layer, it can be protruding, it can be elevated type, it can be flat type, it can be depressed, or it can be excavated type. Okay, this is the Japanese classification. Now coming to the Borman's classification. There can be protruding type. Type 1 is a protruding type. It can be also cauliflower type or exophytic type, cauliflower type, like this. Okay, it can be ulcerated with smooth margin, clear margin, or it can be ulcerated with irregular margin but without clear margin, or it can be diffuse type, infiltrative type, that is the Linitis plastica. It is known as Linitis plastica. Borman's is advanced carcinoma, whereas Japanese carcinoma is early carcinoma. In Borman's we can know the growth pattern. Okay, now WHO classification is adenocarcinoma. It can be papillary, tubular, mucinous, signet ring type. It can be adenosquamous cancer. It can be squamous cell carcinoma. It can be undifferentiated or it can be unclassified. Now Siebert's classification is type 1 is above gastroesophageal junction. We have to do esophagectomy, and thus with that we have to do gastric pull through. Type 2 is the at gastroesophageal junction at cardiac junction. So it is type 2 and type 3. Here we have to do total gastrectomy with Ruxin Y, esophago, jejunal anastomosis. What will be the clinical feature? Patient will be asymptomatic in early cases. In later, the patient will have the symptom of anemia, that is fatigue, paleness. He or she is having the pain. It is a constant non-radiating pain, increases with food intake. Dyspepsia, anorexia, weight loss. Weight loss is the common feature of any carcinoma. Weight loss. Also there will be hematemesis in the later stage. Lymph node metastasis is seen. So which are the lymph node metastasis? And through blood, through the liver portal vein, it will metastasize to different organ. So lymph node metastasis is supraclavicular group of lymph node is enlarged. This is known as Virchow's lymph node, and Trauzier sign is seen. Left axillary group of lymph node is enlarged, which is known as Irish node. Kuchenberg tumor in the ovary, premenopausal ovary, is seen. Pouch of Douglas, in the pouch of Douglas or cul-de-sac pelvic, there is a Blammer self seen. And lastly, sister Mary Joseph nodule is seen in the umbilical lymph node, which is the remnant of the umbilical vein, that is the ligament of Teres. The umbilical region, there is a lymph node enlargement. This is sister Mary Joseph lymph node. So what is the investigation of choice? You have to do endoscopy, upper GI endoscopy, along with biopsy to be taken. Abdominal CT is the best investigation of the choice. Endoscopic USG to know the depth of the invasion. TNM staging should be done so that how much it is spread, lymph node spread is there or not, which can do by PET scan. 18 FDG PET scan to see the metastasis. So these are the investigation of the choice. Now the treatment, chemotherapy is the treatment, or we can do surgical therapy. So in chemotherapy, fluorouracil with or mitomycin C can be given, or adriamycin can be given along with leucovorin, that is a folinic acid, for 5 days, along with cisplatin or oxaliplatin or epirubicin to be given. Another immunomodulator is the bevacizumab. Bevacizumab can be given. So this is the chemotherapy. Now coming to the surgical therapy. Surgical therapy is radical which can be subtotal, total or distal gastrectomy to be done. Distal for subtotal, radical subtotal gastrectomy to be done in a distal tumor. For proximal tumor or gastroesophageal junction tumor, we have to do total gastrectomy. Along with we can do Ruxin Y anastomosis, that is esophagojejunostomy. We have to also do the proximal clearance, that is 5 cm submucosal extension is most common. So we have to do proximal clearance. For the proximal tumor, we have to do distal clearance, that is 2 cm extend through the muscularis thickening is very much difficult the layer. So we have to do less clearance in distal segment. So distal clearance to be done. for distal tumor. Now coming to omental clear. So omental clear, because omentum there is a lymph node. So due to gastrectomy, most common resection for lymph node 2 and 3 clearance, and for that is without splenectomy. Without splenectomy you have to done till the celiac trunk, and for D3 the gastrectomy beyond the celiac trunk you have to do. We can do D3 gastrectomy. Secondly, EMR operation can to be done endoscopic mucosal resection by submucosal saline lift technique. Okay. Another is photodynamic therapy by laser. Hemoporphyrin derivative is given, that is a laser therapy, photodynamic therapy. Another is immunotherapy by PC-Bavil. So this is all about gastric carcinoma. Thank you.